Back with the curious case of Carlee Russell. If you missed parts 1 and 2, you can catch up by watching those videos. The links are below. In this video, we're going to get into the press conference featuring the Hoover Police Chief. This took place on Wednesday, July 19th. It's their first press conference since Carlee Russell reappeared at her parents' front door after she disappeared on I-459 in Hoover, Alabama on July 13th for 49 hours. You will hear the 911 call where the 25-year-old reported the baby on the side of the road, along with many other details surrounding the investigation. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time, let's go ahead and get into it.
I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Okay, so before we hear that 911 call, Carlee Smollett stole from her employer. That's the first crime. She stole a robe, toilet paper, and other miscellaneous items. I'm assuming she needed something to lounge around in for 2 days while she disappeared. Then she got her food because, like her mama says, she loves her food.
Because I know you love your food.
There's no way she was about to get abducted without some good food and some snacks. So after picking up the food from the restaurant, she made that pit stop for snacks at Target, granola bars, Cheez-Its, and remember those cheeses. Cheese crackers will come up again. But it sounds like Carlee was preparing for a road trip or getting some snacks to hide out with and watch Lifetime movies for the weekend or Oxygen. She waited in that Target parking lot on 280 until 9:21, and a little over 10 minutes later, she pulled over on the side of I-459 and made this call here.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Hold on. Where on 459 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Med, like to get off by the Hoover Med.
Okay, so you're before the exit?
Yes.
Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280?
Towards Tuscaloosa.
Okay, and was the child on the left or right side?
On the right side.
Were they walking northbound or southbound?
They're walking towards Tuscaloosa.
Walking southbound. How old did they look?
Like a toddler, maybe 3 or 4.
Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them?
Yes.
Okay, are you with the child right now?
No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though.
Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz.
Is it a sedan or SUV?
SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry.
Can you put your hazards on for me?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they look like they're injured?
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
White male? Okay, so is he wearing clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
And you don't see any cars anywhere?
No, no cars anywhere.
Okay. Alright, what's your name?
My name is Carlee Russell.
And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct?
No, but I can't really see them that good.
Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them.
Okay.
Alright, and do they have shoes on?
No, not that I can see. I can't really see that one.
Okay. Alright, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Now, after hearing that call, it brings more clarity to the footage from the highway camera. Remember when she pulled over, how she was able to see that child from so far back on the interstate? If you're familiar with I-459 or any very dark highway, you would know that it's not well lit. So how was she even able to see from so far back? Then from listening to the call and looking at the video, she pulled over in this area because that was her plan. She planned to stop there in that location. She said the child was walking southbound towards Tuscaloosa. That would mean the child was walking away from her, not in her direction. Then the biggest thing to me that was so eerie was how calm and normal this woman sounds while she's telling the biggest lie ever. Can you imagine how dangerous a woman like this is? She could lie like this. All I know is her boyfriend, he should get away from this lady ASAP. Do not ignore this dangerous behavior.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing.
So she called her brother's girlfriend around 9:36. It was a very quick call, just long enough to tell her that she was on the side of the road where she saw the white baby, and long enough to scream so that her family would know what so-called happened to her. It also explains why she called her brother's girlfriend and not her brother or not her parents. She did that for a reason too. Then the cops, they got there very quick. It was within 5 minutes. She was already gone though. She left her watch and all her electronics on the scene, but she did not forget those snacks from Target. You know, she had to make sure she had enough snacks to hide out for 2 days. Another big takeaway, police said that while she was on the phone with dispatch, she drove 600 yards, supposedly following the baby on the side of the road that was headed southbound. 600 yards. I can't imagine a little baby without shoes on, in the dark, 600 yards in 2 minutes. I just can't see it. Was he baby Usain Bolt or something? I don't think so.
At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else.
Wait a minute. How was the woman playing in her hair when the wig was on the ground? Her mom said under her wig she had braids.
So if anyone sees Carlee from the pictures that we have put out, just keep in mind because her wig came off, her hair will be braided down to her scalp, so she won't have, long hair or anything like that is reflected on the picture.
Yeah, Carlee lied to the police once again. And I guess the abductor didn't want to pay for food, so he made sure that he let her bring her snacks with her. Is it a coincidence that she said that the woman fed her cheese crackers? And then she said the man had orange hair. He was a white man who baited her with his white baby. Orange hair, orange Cheez-Its. What's going to be the next lie? It was Donald Trump?
Thank you, Shaq.
At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock.
Yeah, she put the cash in her sock so she wouldn't lose the money that she stole while running through the woods from herself. The rip in her shirt, that came from her running like a deer and then one of those branches getting caught on her shirt.
Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so this was premeditated. So far, the people saying that she took something and just went crazy. No, Einstein planned this out for at least 2 days. Her first Google search related to all of this came 2 days before she vanished. She was searching, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" Then the day she vanished, she was up from 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and throughout the day planning. She was still making plans while she was at work, searching how to take money from a register without being caught. Searching the Birmingham bus station, a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville, looking up a movie about abduction, Taken. And while she was at work, she was looking for the maximum age for an Amber Alert. So now, after that initial interview, she's now refusing to speak to the police. And honestly, they should just go lock her up. I bet she'll talk once she's down there at the police station. Yeah, just go ahead and abduct her and take her to the jailhouse, since she's trying to be held captive so bad, and make sure you have those cheeses on deck. She'll talk then.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse fall?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
One more question. Is it surprising to you that the family has not been cooperative in returning to be questioned?
Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
You hear that? Her mama and daddy, they're holding off the police. Or should I say the mama? Because we all know she told the daddy not to say a word. He's looking like he's trying to get out or something. Mr. Russell seems to be stuck in a sunken place. His daughter and his wife is out here embarrassing him, having to go along with his foolishness. It's very easy. If her parents are in the way of the investigation and they're interfering, it's a charge for that too.
Chief, you stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female? Black female? White female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Is this alleged abductor yet on loose in the Hoover area?
Don't believe so.
Yeah, the abductor was Chucky. The woman feeding her the Cheez-Its, that was the bride of Chucky. And the baby was Chucky's son, Glenn, or whatever his name was.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Bernie of WBRC, has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
That was one of the black female reporters who did a great job covering this story. I see a lot of women saying that she had to be on something or she's got a mental health issue. According to the police, they're not aware of her having any mental health issues or drug issues at this point. But honestly, it doesn't matter. She committed several crimes here and she should be locked up. I really don't want to hear those excuses.
There's been a concern in the community that if this turned out not to be a true story, that the next time a young woman of color was missing, that it might not be taken seriously. How would you respond to that?
I'd respond to say that we investigate every crime to the fullest, just like we have this one.
Right here.
Was she traveling with anyone since, excuse me, was she traveling with anyone since the time she disappeared, to your knowledge?
And not to my knowledge.
Chief, I know you said you weren't able to verify a lot of aspects of the story. Where do you think she went, and how would you characterize what happened here?
You know, that's the $100 question. You know, we pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until she got on the 911 call, and we can see getting out of the car on the interstate from that footage. And after that, I think she only knows. We don't know.
Well, one quick follow-up. Her parents. Did you speak with Carlee's parents, and why do you think it is they were so adamant that there was an abductor?
Yeah, I think parents are believing what their daughter's saying, and we've had a very good rapport with the parents, met with them on several occasions. I've talked to them today a few times, and to make them understand that we're under pressure from our community, not only in our community of the state, but nationally when the story hit. And I just wanted them to understand that today we were going to have a press conference, and what we were going to detail today are facts. And everything that I've told you today is actual facts. It's not innuendos. It's not what I think. It's not what these detectives think. It is the factual information that we have.
Chief, how much time do you think you'll give the family before going back to Carlee for a sentencing?
Well, I think our detectives have talked to the parents, and we're ready. We're ready to talk as soon as she's ready. So, you know, she called right now. We're ready.
You've had one word to describe what went on. What would that word be?
How about unknown? You know, we know the facts that we have. Everything else is unknown at this time.
In the back.
What have the past few days been like for you, your department? This has been a stressful search, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. And again, the focus of the investigation that Thursday, when she went missing, of course, the focus was to get Carlee home. That's what we want all. We wanted her safe and sound. And that's all happened. And then, of course, this has gotten to be not only a local, state story, but a national story. So, you know, it is. It's a lot of stress on everyone in the Hoover Police Department, in the mayor, every citizen here. We want to know the truth.
As you stand here, are you frustrated?
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm very happy that Carlee's home. That was the main ingredient here, and then we'll figure it out. I promise you that. We'll end up figuring it out.
Any idea about the number of manpower hours or the expense of the drones and all the rest of the search that might have cost the city and the state and the federal government?
Yeah, we haven't had time to consider that, but it's you know, again, these detectives that are here. This is just a small group of people that have been associated with this case. We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Chief, was there any
Just hold on, we're going home.
Chief, was there any prior indication of mental health problems?
Not that I'm aware of.
Could you just expand on the people from the state, federal resources brought in? What were they doing exactly as you all were searching for her? Can you just expand on that?
Sure. A lot of the from the FBI side, several agents helping us interview. I mean, as you well know, in a case like this, especially when it goes national, we got hundreds and hundreds of calls. And when you get those calls, some of them may just be outlandish, but you got to follow up on them because you never know that you may get that one tidbit. And I'd also say too that we had a great cooperation with the family. The family received hundreds and hundreds of tips, and every time they got a tip, they sent it to us.
Would you say a crime has been committed?
No,
in this case?
we have not determined that. No.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Question for Chief. With all the searches that you mentioned, Chief, that were on Carlee's phone, does that kind of give you an indication of her mind state during this ordeal, the 48 hours that she went missing?
Well, you know, again, we want to talk in facts, and I do think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that several 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very, very strange, yes.
Yes. Do you feel confident, do your investigators feel confident that you know why Carlee Russell may have done this?
No, we do not know. Absolutely not.
Chief, can you explain for us, you mentioned that while I believe you said that Carlee was on the phone with 911, she was traveling 6 football fields, which tells you what?
That she wasn't following no baby.
Which tells me that I've had kids, and I'm sure a lot of people here have, and it's very, very, again, she said it, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen because I've always been one of these guys, never say never, but 6 football fields. I like athletics, I like football. 6 football fields. To think that a toddler, barefoot, that could be 3 or 4 years old, is going to travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, without any just moving down, it's just very hard for me to understand.
Chief, have you used any technology to enhance that video from 459, and did you see a man grab her?
We did not see, from what we can tell, we don't see anybody on the interstate other than her car and then someone getting out of her driver's side. We have sent that off to the FBI for enhancement. It has not been returned.
Do you think in this case that charges will be forthcoming towards Carlee Russell, and how serious of a crime is it to not only fabricate a 911 call, but to lie to law enforcement during an investigation?
Well, again, that's not something that we've been discussed as we're going through the still investigation. But, people have to understand that when someone says something like this, we put every available resource. Everybody comes together from state, local, federal. It's just a lot of work, and the gentleman earlier said frustrated. I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Did anyone see her calling in from the side of the road when she made that 911 call?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, last question here.
Is this investigation held up until you can speak once again to Carlee Russell?
Well, there's a few things that we're still doing, but obviously we want to talk to Carlee as soon as we can and do an in-depth interview. And at that time, I think we'll have these investigators doing some other things. So
that's all the questions we're going to answer today. We appreciate you guys coming, and we'll be following up with y'all later. Thank you so much.
At this point, it's very clear that Carlee lied, and her sitting up in her room, Brandy, it's not going to make all of this go away. Carlee, you got some questions to answer about Chucky, the bride, and his son, and your mama need to stop caping for you. The daddy, I just wish he would get out of the sunken place and tell his lying daughter to stop these shenanigans and hold her accountable. She is not a baby, a child, or a teenager. This is a grown woman hiding out with her Cheez-Its for 2 days. But yeah, I'm sick of it. Lock her up, charge her, convict her. Folks need to realize they can't go around pulling stunts like this. Got people crying and falling out all over her. I mean, so many people arguing over her and defending her on social media. And what's really sad is that even though we have all this information out now, you still have some insane, crazy feminists trying to hold on to this lie. Like, hold this L. She lied. Stop defending it. Hold her accountable. But for them, there's no way any of this could be her fault. If it wasn't Jermaine's fault or Bart Simpson or Chucky, I guess it's Barney's fault. I don't know, but I'm just sick of all the baby bot bimbo babble. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below. Carlee is obviously avoiding the police because she was caught in all of these lies. Her parents are still protecting her, but do you think her boyfriend will stay around? If he's smart, he'll get away. Because at first, you had a lot of people trying to blame this on him. They thought that he had something to do with her disappearance. Just noticed something is going on with his social media. Carlee's boyfriend completely erased all pictures of her, with her, posts about her from his social media. Is he over her shenanigans or what? Special thank you to Havelock, Judah Zion, Daquan, and Robert. I appreciate all of you for your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.